It's interesting how quickly some instruments can pass you by. Either you succumb to the fun feeling of impulse buying something that captures your imagination, or you rationalise and you risk something amazing slipping through your fingers. That was the case with me and my 2011 Gibson SG. Until I got it. This is Gear Profile. Hello, I'm Marc Gallagher and welcome to Gear Profile, where I take a look at a piece of gear that I have and love and I tell its story, why it speaks to me, and of course, give it a little play. Today we're looking at my 2011 Gibson SG. It was May of 2014. I was 17 years old and I'd frequently make visits on my bike to Snaky Jake's Custom Amplification in Crewe, where I'd try, buy and learn about guitars. One day they had a Gibson SG in for a really decent price, which I can't quite recall. In my research at the time, I'd understood there to be 4 main electric guitar models that guitarists need: a Strat, a Tele, a Les Paul and an SG. One of my best childhood friends in Jack Hayward Cook had an Epiphone SG, which he played expertly, but with my mum's preference of brands and things being a good make, influencing me like they did with my Les Paul, I knew that I needed to have a Gibson. So back to Snaky Jake's. I played this one in the shop and I was most impressed by the neck. It had a satin finish that felt really smooth against my hand, compared to the sticky, glossy necks of other guitars. In that visit, I just felt a magic to the guitar. Something about it was extremely comfortable and fun to play. The price was really good. Unfortunately, I was on my bike, so I couldn't take it home with me straight away. I chose to rationalise and sleep on it, and in my heart of hearts, I know that was the right thing to do. So on my bike I went. A few days later, I popped in again with a view to reconnecting with this magical guitar, but it had been swept up. I was gutted, such is life, but onwards we went. A few days after that though, on May 31st, 2014, I attended the launch of Jimmy Damage and the Shadows' self-titled double album at the Brunswick in Crewe. I'm good friends with the folks of that band, I love their music, and I was really proud to watch them with their first album launch. Also, it gave us this picture, and that is a blessing. But as I was watching the soundcheck, I noticed their frontman, James Farmer, was playing a guitar that was very familiar. I was in disbelief. It was the stupidest and coolest of coincidences. After the soundcheck and before the show, I asked him about it, and it was that very same SG that I had my eyes on. I will never forget the story he told.
The thing that stood out was it wasn't a laptop. With my brain, as it stands, a laptop is quite a boring purchase. It's very functional, really useful, just so boring. It's a bit like when you buy a fridge. Or I popped into Snaky Jake's again on the way to Curry's or wherever it was I was going to buy a laptop, and then I saw the SG, and I just thought I'll buy that instead. Amazing. Seems like a better purchase. Not as useful in the terms of being a computer, but it's a guitar. It's a classic bloke manoeuvre. I asked Snaky Jake if anyone would be interested in it so I could scupper their purchase.
Of course you did, of course. At least I knew the guitar was in good hands. James is an incredible guitarist and an influential figure to me growing up. I went to the open mics that he hosted, and I was also school friends with his son, also called James. In April 2018, I shot my shot. I just messaged out of the blue one day asking if he was ever looking at selling, and he took me up on it. A few days later, I picked up the guitar that got away for only £350. This is a 2011 Gibson SG. Annoyingly, Gibson serial numbers are a bit tedious to decode. It's not like Fender System where you can trace to the individual series and get fine details. But it's an SG, made like most other SGs, I'm sure. Its mahogany body is slimmer than that of a Les Paul. Its neck joins to the body much further along, giving you greater upper fret access. The only mod I've made is adding pickup covers because I don't like the look of uncovered humbuckers.
I agree with that. It does look better with these on, definitely. I don't like them exposed. It almost looks like they're not finished.
Yes.
Anyway, and it's all about image, Mark.
Otherwise, it's an SG like any other. Over the last year, most days I would spend a bit of time playing guitar, just going through my scales and noodling. I rotate which guitar and amp I use to keep it fresh and learn more about the differences from guitar to guitar, from amp to amp. Initially, I thought that the SG would be mostly similar to my Les Paul, with them both being dual humbucker guitars. But actually, I think this is closer to a Telecaster. Check this out. Especially in the bridge pickup, it's twangy and snappy. In the neck one, it's a little bit thin, at least relative to that of the Les Paul. Whereas the Les Paul is a wolf that howls, the SG is a pit bull that yaps at you. I do feel like for this guitar, the clean really doesn't agree with it too much, like it needs a bit of dirt. When you do that clean, it's way too spanky for my tastes. What I really do like to do on this is go in the middle position, be full whack on the bridge, and then just bring the neck pickup in about halfway. I think I can get some fun smoothness there. Versus just the bridge. I quite like having that middle position. That being said, when you've got some drive and you go to the bridge pickup and you dig in, that's also really satisfying. I think as guitarists, in terms of gear, we can have like peaks and valleys in terms of stuff we are really into and then we lose that interest, stuff we fall in love with and equally fall out of love with over time, only for the cycle to possibly repeat itself. Right now, I'm in a slump with the SG. Currently, when I play this, I'm comparing it to the Les Paul, and I'm thinking about what this guitar isn't. This guitar isn't creamy, it's spanky. This guitar is not smooth, it's a bit jagged. And at the moment, I'm having a slump with it because right now, as I am doing these playing and these jams and these noodles to myself, I'm struggling to get fully what I want out of this SG. The current thing I'm looking at doing is a pickup swap. These pickups I think are just the stock standard ones, the 490 T and H pickups. So if I was to swap those out for something a bit more boutique, especially ones that aim for this like creaminess that aren't quite so spanky, then I think I might be able to get something that I really, really enjoy out of this SG. But currently, I'm in a bit of a slump, and I'm just trying to see how my feelings develop, see what changes. I'm also seeking advice from other SG players and seeing what else I can do to get on better with this guitar. And I welcome any of your tips in the comments if you have any. Like, should I go for a pickup swap? If so, what do you recommend? Should I just embrace the spank, as it were? Should I just try and embrace this guitar for what it is instead of lament what it isn't? And, you know, how can I better get on with an SG? Right now, it's absolutely my favorite story for a guitar, but it is also one that I'm struggling to get along with right now. I'm in that slump, and maybe that slump will hopefully subside. Maybe I will either just find a way to live with this guitar as is and enjoy it, or find something to change about it to get on with it better. But I also submitted this question to That Pedal Show. During their viewers' comments and questions episode, I asked them about not getting on with an SG and trying to figure out ways to improve it.
Just knock that tone control back a bit. It is said that one of Clapton's things that he used to like to do on a 4-pot Gibson was to be in the middle position and just knock the neck pickup back a bit, just roll those tone pots back and just get a bit more of a smooth sound. Add on some thick overdrive, roll those things back, and should sound pretty creamy pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And try 50s wiring with using those pots, and I think that will go a long way.
And a great piece of advice that Mick had towards the end was, sometimes if you're just not getting on with it,
if you just don't dig it, move on.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that that doesn't come. I'm really hoping that I do find something that really helps me to reconnect with this guitar. It's a guitar I flip-flop between. It feels amazing to play, especially that neck, but I don't think its sound is the best in my collection. Right now, as I'm recording this, if I was to part with one of my 10 electric guitars, I think I would sell this SG in lieu of a Gibson ES335. But every now and then, I pick it up and I feel that same magic that I felt when I first played it 11 years ago. I'm proud of the journey that I've been on with this guitar. I don't regret getting the guitar that got away, even if right now it might not be my favourite. It definitely remains my favourite story. I'm grateful to James Farmer for coming along to the studio and having a chat about the SG. The clips that you saw were taken from a larger conversation of about 20 minutes-ish, where we discussed the story behind him getting the SG, the things that stood out to him, so we nerd out a little bit. We also talk about like the SG sound compared to other guitars, and we have some great sound demos from a much better guitarist than I. If you want to check out that full conversation, then you can check the link in the description or the cards in your screen. My name is Marc Gallagher, and this has been Gear Profile. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any thoughts down in the comments. You can also follow me on your favourite social media at Marc Gallagher Music, and consider supporting me on Patreon. For now, I'm Marc Gallagher. Like if you want, share if you feel compelled to, and follow me on places. I'll see you down the road.